Russia keeps 3 missile carrier ships with 20 caliber missiles in the Black Sea at the moment. This means that the Russian army will try again to attack Ukrainian critical infrastructure. However, Russian aggression in the Black Sea region threatens not only Ukraine. And if we are not yet talking about direct military aggression, it is worth being prepared for any threat from Russia to the countries of the Black Sea, experts say. Ukrainian intelligence reports on the possible Russian attack on Moldova appeared online in the spring of 2022. At the end of the year, the head of the Moldovan Security Service, Alexandru Musteata, also said that the risk of Russian invasion was very high. In this regard, the USA, EU and other partners have increased assistance to Moldova, especially in the military sphere. If the country is attacked, it is very important that Moldova thinks about preparing its army, US Ambassador to Moldova Kent Loxon said in November.
Moldova does not even want to think about it because they have almost no armed forces, and this will not be an exaggeration. We know perfectly well that they do not have tanks and did not have any. Back in the 1990s, when the Transnistria war only began, this demonstrated that the separatist region had more serious weapons than the state itself. Secondly, they have no air defense at all. Now they are almost doubling the military budget for the current year, which will be invested in air defense by almost 90%.
After the start of a full-scale war against Ukraine, the possibility of Russian aggression against Romania cannot be ruled out, analysts say. Moreover, it was the Romanian ships that were among the first to be fired upon by the Russian army in 2022, and the blocking of the Black Sea due to mining and aggressive actions of the Russian fleet negatively affected the economy and infrastructure of the country. In other words, the war unleashed by the Kremlin against Ukraine is already hurting Romania. Circumstances are forcing the NATO countries to increase the presence of their contingents on the eastern flank, and this build-up is taking place on a colossal scale, literally 10 times. Accordingly, the role of Romania as a country of the Black Sea flank increases significantly. Accordingly, its capabilities should be also increased. The amount of equipment should be increased. The ability of the infrastructure to store, maintain, use this equipment should be increased, and the number of available NATO specialists should be also increased, and the Romanian army itself should adapt to new types of responsibility. Bulgaria is also striving for the development of the defense industry. That's just the political line of the current president of the country, Rumen Radev, is focused on helping NATO allies. At the same time, they talk about the growth of their own sphere of defense and security to a lesser extent, experts say. Rumen Radev is a retired general of the Bulgarian Air Force, and he really consistently advocated that Bulgaria at least somehow modernize its weapons and strengthen at least the fleet and aviation. We see that the first purchases of Western weapons were new warships and aircraft, but the point is not only in new models of weapons, but also in understanding the conceptual role of one's state in the regional aspect, because Bulgaria refuses to participate in some regional formats. One of the leaders of the Black Sea region may also be vulnerable to Russia. Turkey, on the one hand, is a member of the North Atlantic Alliance, but on the other hand, it often plays its own game with Russia, and despite a strong economy and a powerful military-industrial complex, it continues to be dependent on the terrorist state in the economic and political spheres.
The main thing is banks, not tanks, but banks. This is exactly where the tentacles of this Russian octopus are everywhere in Turkey. These are tourists. The number one supplier country is Russia. This is import-export, where Russia came out on top in imports. This is the fourth destination for Turkish exports, a huge market for Turkish companies where they are not going to leave. These are oligarchs. These are direct injections into the Turkish economy. That is, in this sense, this is Turkey's greatest vulnerability.
Before attacking with tanks, missiles and other weapons, Russia attacked Ukraine with fakes, attempts to corrupt political elites, economic traps, energy strangleholds and other means of control. This is why Ukrainian analysts who managed to become specialists in countering such attacks are calling on other countries of the Black Sea region to hunt the Russian octopus, as long as the threat remains only a threat. Reported by Pavlo Štermach, Valeria Nikipilova, UATV News.